is many things.
Not only it's flexible,
but also extremely
powerful in every aspect of design.
Learn ServiceNow by joining ServiceNow.
Hey everyone, apology for the network issue. Welcome. So let's go ahead and go back and discuss a little bit about what we're going to accomplish today. It's all about ITOM and the service mapping. So in the previous episode, which is episode 1, demo 1, which is almost took us 59 minutes to do that. We just discussed in general what discovery is, how the data came from the discovery, all those cool stuffs, and also the service mapping. We have talked about the service mapping, how that the visibility, the service mapping visibilities are really important in managing your services, whatever service you have. Service could be your US account access, a good example. Managing could be hours or employee hours, all those good stuff. So you can put them in services. So this episode, we will specifically discuss about one of the IT operation management key features, which is the service mapping. We're going to talk about how we can map our services. And also, like I said in the previous episode, the most important thing for ITOM, which is IT operation management, is the ITSM, which is the discovery. Okay, you haven't done your discovery regularly, it is less likely to get benefit out from the IT operation management. So, you are really interested to learn more about the ITOM, IT operation management, and also the service mapping. This is the right episode. Welcome everyone. Before we get started, the demo, let's go ahead and do a little bit of warm up. What is ServiceNow Star? What are we doing here in ServiceNow Star? We're gonna discuss all those good stuffs here.
ServiceNow is many things.
Not only it's flexible,
but also extremely
powerful in every aspect of design.
Learn ServiceNow by joining ServiceNow Star.
ServiceNow Star is a single place where you can get ServiceNow questions and answers so that you can be ready to pass your certification as well as
ServiceNow demo.
Exactly, a lot of demos here in ServiceNow Star. You get a demo on ITSM, ITBM, Service Portal, so many things. Join ServiceNow Star today.
And also the Service Portal.
Yes. Bum, bum, bum. Join ServiceNow Star today to get a lot of things related to Service Portal, widget development. You'll get a lot of those things, cool features, and also tips and tricks how you can easily develop your own Service Portal using so many experience gathered from one of the ServiceNow developer, Mohammed Rashid Kamal, has worked for many C-suite company. So he's now sharing his experience with the ServiceNow Star.
Yeah. Become a ServiceNow Star.
There are a lot of releases coming from the ServiceNow. We are in Orlando. Paris is coming up. Quebec
and Rome are going to be in the 2021.
If you want to be on top of your release, which is coming from the ServiceNow, you can join today ServiceNow Star. Join ServiceNow Star today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share our videos, and we thank you for that, ServiceNow Star.
Well, perfect. Welcome everyone. So Like I said, on today's episode, we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit on the service mapping. So with the service mapping, as far as you have your discovery up and run, your discovery is up and run. Primarily, your discovery is a horizontal. What do discovery do? It's a horizontal probe. So once it's done, its discovery is completed. All your resource is gonna be in your CMDB CI. Then once you have your all CI items, the next thing for you is to do the service mapping. So the service mapping is really crucial. So to prevent any data outage in the future. So let's say you got an incident in your environment, and that incident eventually might lead to a data outage, okay, or a service outage. So that's how we can prevent it, is through the service mapping. So service mapping is really important. It's not just about that. We're gonna talk a lot of important things here related with the service mapping. So when I say that, it is the IT service management and the operation management, these two, they support each other, they help each other. Let's say you have got the incident and the problem, okay, your incident, your problem, see, all those is gonna feed your servers, your applications and storage. So they feed each other, let's say there's a problem in your server, what's gonna happen? The next thing is gonna happen is one can create an incident, right? An incident ticket is gonna be happen. Incident will be created, and that incident is primarily could be linked to a given configuration item, which is servers or computers or networks as well, or it could be any cloud or virtualization. You know, all those things can be linked up. So what the benefit here is bringing the two together, okay? One can could events and the other could give alerts, you know, the discovery, the CIs, all those good information. So when you combine them together, you get the benefit. That's where you get the benefit. So when you think of these different kinds of outage, you know, the incidents that are reported in your organization, all those incidents, problems, oh, you know, it's gonna give you that kind of moment. Oh shit! See, all those the event, the incident, the SLA becomes slow. So all those will bring you to a process of thinking, hey, how can I prevent next time? Oh, is there something that can tell me, like if something happened here under the Unix server, was there anything that can help me to prevent it next time? See, all those things you might think of, right? So the relief could come from remediation, or you might take some governance in your environment. So that might help for a little bit. But the big thing here is when you bring those two together, which is the IT service management and the IT operation management, is going to give you a cumulative effect in your environment, in your organization, in your company to best use, okay? To have like this, the 60, 100, the 360 dashboard where it can give you the holistic view of your organization, right? So that's what primarily we are spending today, our time. We're gonna start first by going to, I already installed here, I already installed the service mapping plugin. If you haven't yet, you can follow along. This is, I am on the latest ServiceNow instance, the latest ServiceNow version. So what my version is, if you are asking here, I am on the Quebec, which is the current one. If you want to take a look at that, you can go to sys, under the sys, you can go ahead and take a look at find that. Under system map, map makers is mobile. So your discovery here, your discovery is really important. So what do the discovery do? Go to discovery. We already covered a whole lot of information and also a demo on Meet server, how to create a Meet server. how to create a meet server. I want to show you that meet server. I have done it before, and this meet server, the meet server that I have here is primarily in previous version when I was in Orlando. That was when it was created. So it need to be this meet server need to be upgraded to the latest. As simple as that. You just need to open your meet server. It's telling you that the reported meet server version is an Orlando patch. All right, it's in an Orlando patch, so it's not compatible with the instance version, which is what like I said, I'm on Quebec version. So we need to upgrade it. So to do that, we need to take a look at meet server version, the meet server version and compatibility. Yes, that's a sign. So meet server need to be upgraded. So how to upgrade? We can take a look at there. Meet servers are automatically upgraded through the meet server host computer. You can also manually upgrade each meet server, but that's not our point of discussion today. So we're not gonna upgrade our meet server, but that's where you can see that information. Now it is down, so it need to be upgraded so to sync up with whatever I have. But the main thing here is now the service mapping. So the discovery is primarily using your meet server. Okay, the meet server here to show you that the meet server is just bringing your CI, your configuration items. Once it get your configuration item, it bring it. You know what it did is a horizontal discovery. You know, all those probes, the CIs, the configuration items, all that good stuff is gonna come through your horizontal discovery. Then when you move to the service mapping, here under the service mapping, we have got services. One of the service here is application services. Okay, application services. So these application services, just speak in a really plain, simple English, the application service, the ServiceNow application, the service mapping application service is just one of your services. Take a look at this here, US account access. This is a US account access, and you have got here a map, what it looks like. You can view the map, okay, how this US account access looks like, and the business criticality. If it get down, if this service get down, the business criticality is 4, not critical. It's not that much critical. If this happen, it's not an issue. But now let's go ahead and group using the business criticality, because the most important thing here is critical. The most important, the business criticality 1. There are some application services like the audit, production audit, EU customer purchase history, and customer management. So these are the services. These services are the most critical. If something happens, see, this is the importance of ServiceNow, the importance of service mapping. You have got the data, right? You've got the data, all the CI data that you have from the discovery. Once you get that, like I say, to get the most benefit, it's good to do the service mapping here. So once you map your service and you know which service is critical, which one is most critical. Like I said, QA audit, which is really critical. Let's go ahead and open the production audit. So this audit, here is the criticality, which is 1 most critical. And there is a way we can get the traffic, right? Traffic-based discovery. So he's checked, getting through that. And the operational status is operational. If it wasn't operational, there could be retired, ready, pipeline, or catalog. You can mention those. So there are 2 application service groups that contain this. All and core services. So all the core services are part of this, the most critical service. What do we call it? The production audit. The production audit. The production audit. So let me go ahead and bring one. So here, when you talk about the service mapping, you might ask, how does this service mapping work? How? So the service mapping, it deploys different methods for creating application services. Your several different application services, right? And this pattern is a sequence of operations. So it creates a pattern. These patterns, they are a sequence of operations whose purpose is to detect the attributes of device and applications. So device and applications, your several device and application that you have. So here we are trying to see one of the application service that we have, the most critical. All right. So there is really important thing here to talk about is you need to use the right method for your mapping application service. For your mapping application service, you need to choose the most important one. The most important part is choosing the right method for your mapping application service. So the service mappings, you can deploy different methods. We can deploy different methods for collecting information about the configuration items, like I said earlier, okay? Got several configuration items, but we need to make sure and organizing them into an application service. So we need to organize them into the service. So that's what we call it here. We need to organize. You need to spend a whole lot of time in your application service, and also not only spending time, but also making sure, because from my experience here, I can tell you that the time you spent in choosing the right method for your mapping application services is really critical, because you're going to map them. All right, going to map them using the services, the application services. So your available mapping methods could be a pattern-based. Okay, the method, available mapping method, it could be, you may use a pattern-based. Let's see, let's go ahead and do service type. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and group by service type. All right, so everything here is discovered using Discover. Everything is discovered, but the available, there are several types of available. Like one is the pattern-based, tag-based. You might use a tag-based right there, tag-based services, or you may use a pattern-based or a tag-based, or you may use a traffic-based. So each will give you different benefits. So if you take a look at here, the tag-based services, now I don't have any tag-based services, but we're gonna create one later on. But here, the tag-based services will give you, if you got an organization that use, organization that use a tag for their asset management, you can use this tag to map your application services. It depends on your organization. Are they using tag? Right? If they're using tag, yes, definitely you can use tag-based for your application services, tag-based, or you may use pattern. It depends on this pattern, especially the pattern-based. This is the service mapping that use pattern to discover and map CI. So you can use the discovering. You can use the CIs as well, the configuration items. So this pattern, what we call it, is the pattern based, the pattern based, it has a sequence of steps. And the purpose is to detect attributes in your CI and its bounding connections. Okay? So that's what it would do. The pattern one. There's another one, what we call it the traffic-based. You might find just right there, the traffic-based discovery. This is a traffic-based discovery, as you can see right here. Action disabled. So this is traffic-based. When are you going to choose a traffic-based? Okay, traffic-based. Yes. When are you going to choose a traffic-based? Right there, the traffic-based. This module over here, traffic-based services. So the traffic-based services, these services help you to discover and map your configuration items following their traffic-based connections. You may have different types of traffic-based connections. So here, take a look at the CI type here. CMDB CI app server website. There's a transport server. There's an exchange frontend. There's CMDB CI ad controller. So these, what we call the traffic-based, use a traffic-based discovery, just like casting a finer net, allowing the service mapping to find even those CIs that are failed to discover using the pattern. Fail to discover using the pattern. So if you use maybe the pattern, it may not be able to discover it for you sometimes, and it can even find those. Which one? The traffic. Because you are using your traffic and you mapping up the CIs following your traffic. It's really preferred. This method, which is the traffic-based, is really preferred one. So I would advise you, or highly suggest you, it depends on your organization, how you proceed, but the traffic-based discovery is really crucial and important because it can even get patterns that are missed through the tag-based. So because of that, it makes the traffic-based really crucial and important. And this traffic-based mapping, it also complements the pattern-based mapping. So what these do, the traffic-based mapping, it also bring a traffic-based discovery that creates more of inclusive map. It may also result in mapping many redundant CI. It may create some redundant CI, but it really helps to create more inclusive map, right? Inclusive. So here the action, all right? The action, enable disable, the rule type, specific CI, and here is the CI. That's how we can bring the CI. For now, we have configuration items, and for those of you want to know what is the name of this table right there, CMDB CI. The name of the table is CMDB CI. That's the base table. It captures all of the CI items that we have. Now we are linking it with this one. Here's the action. This traffic-based discovery. So this traffic-based discovery, it discovers at initial stage of the discovery an application services, and also it disables it once you complete your discovery. So what is the benefit of this traffic-based? It's about the traffic. It starts immediately when you start your discovery. So you have got your mid server running, you got your mid server up and running, and also you do your discovery. While you are doing that, the traffic-based discovery could start working. And another good thing here is you can stop it or you can pause it once you've done your discovery. Okay? Yes, that's the benefit about that. So you don't need to run it the whole time. Perfect. So you can fine tune it. In short, you can fine tune it. Once you run it, later on you can also fine tune it. So now these are some of, all right, these are some of traffic-based discovery rules that we set up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the CMDB CI app server WS order. So this one here, it has a CI type, web share ODR LB. So what these do, it will discover when you run your discovery. Right? You run your discovery, and run it for you. Awesome. So the other important thing here is, so the traffic-based, we say that the traffic-based discovery, we have got 3 types. So the traffic-based is really important, and also the traffic-based, it can even complement yours, but it need to happen during the traffic. When we talk about the pattern-based, creating a pattern in your pattern-based discovery in the service mapping, it's the main method of service mapping that collect data about your device and application. Your data, your application, that's where it's gonna bring it for you. All right, let's go ahead and do some here. So by now you might asking, what are the relationship between your discovery and mapping process? Especially when you talk about this, the pattern-based discovery, by looking a given pattern, right? By looking a given pattern, so the pattern-based discovery. So what is the relationship between your discovery and also the service mapping? To answer that, it's really good to see how the mid server is organized, because the main purpose of your mid server is to go out, and the mid server is like a middleman. It's a middleman. It's just doing a communication between a third party organization, getting you the data that you need, discovering the data for you. And from the discovery, we've got the service mapping, which is the IT operation management. The service mapping, it's gonna map for you, right? Map for you. So that once you map it up, let's take a look at this, okay? Your organization, you got a mid server, and the mid server is gonna feed the ECC queue, and that's what discovery is. And the service mapping, and it's gonna map whatever data you have, the service mapping. So that is really important to report your outage or to predict your audit outage, okay? When that happens, it will really helpful to you to come back quickly and fix it, all those issues that we might have. So the mid server, it just passed the information on the discovered CIs in their AWS connection to the ECC queue, right? It just passing to your ECC queue, and the service mapping is gonna get that for you and create a map, service mapping, classes, all those good stuff. Okay, perfect. So important service definition. You can import the service definition. If you create one service definition, definitely you can go ahead and import it. And the service group responsibility, and here we can create one as well, service group. So there are some administrative for the service mapping, there are some administrative rules and behaviors we need to set up. Right here, the behavior, you can create one of the behaviors, for example, the discovery behavior, what it looks like. We need to give it a name. So this discovery behavior, it determines what the probe Sajam launch and from which mid server, because you might have multiple mid servers, okay? But in cubic release, we have got a single mid server can do so many work, okay? But the thing is, you can use your discovery behavior. You can set your discovery behavior under here. So which, for example, the Sajam launch in the form with the mid server, these probes are launched as an alternative to specify a single mid server. You may specify a single mid server. So if you don't want to put your behavior here, and if you have only one mid server and you put that as a default, that might be good enough. So that's what we call it, the behavior. The behavior. Got traffic-based discovery. That's what we did. And the credential here. And if we got any usage, service usage, and properties. And this is also another important part that we need to understand as well when we are working in service mapping. So when we do service mapping, it's really crucial to understand service mapping properties, because some of them you might turn on. So those attributes are really important. We can go ahead and talk about that. So the first one is update network and storage paths in service model. So this, it is checked by default. It is checked by default. Enable network path calculation. You want to calculate the network path. That is also enabled by default. You can uncheck, but it's always good to keep it on. You can enable variable smooth for your network path calculation. Here is the maximum timeout. The max timeout, since your last server activity during the pattern debugger. So when you do your pattern debugger, that's the max timeout, 240. And the coefficient of aggregation travel, 0 value means no aggregation. So here we keep it 1. But if you put 0, means no aggregation. And the purpose of this property is to decrease the number of change in the history timeline by increasing the interval allowed between the change. So we can be able to increase by allowing the change between, so the interval can be increased. That's why you put 1. Enable storage path calculation, like I said, is checked by default. Here, 7100 is denied a list of installed stats attribute, and it's comma separated. So you can see it. If you want to put more, 7, 100, you can put more, but it must be in comma separated. So that is the default, 7, 100. This is possible values installed is for 1, and also on order is 2. For 100, in this case, is absent. You can add more, like stolen or retired, which stand for 7, and repair stand for 5. What you need to do is you just need to put a comma separated. And if you want to create more custom, you can add 2. Traffic-based discovery, yes. If that's your way to do it, you can go for it, traffic-based discovery. You can allow a list of classes, and what you need to do is you need to put them in comma separate list of classes. You can tag them your CIP logging to these classes. You can include a tag-based mapping, and this will allow you the empty. All the classes are allowed. Here is the aging period until your traffic based on connections are removed from your CI, and it's 72 hours, which is 3 days. Yes. And also here, you can put a list of comma delimited CI type that are excluded when using your convert to application services and populating your application service from your CI in the CMDB. You can send a notification on an unplanned CI change. If you got unplanned CI change, by turning it on here, you can send a notification. If you got a gray out map segment under your CI that service mapping failed to map, so it will grayed out. So that's the check mark is really important. And if you want to show the number of discovered tasks executed in a single patch, that's 100. You can put 100 there. And seeing service mapping operations with your service model. You have service mapping, and also you have service model. So you can sync it up by checking it here. You can enable connection suggestions. Connection suggestion, it can suggest you there is a better connection. That is also possible. When it comes to enabling the verbose mode for identification engine, by default is not checked. But if you deem it's necessary for your organization, you can do so by checking the verbose mode for your identification engine. So if you take a look at your dynamic CI group, the minimum number of the elements you can put on is 100. Asynchronously, this calls asynchronous process. So that the minimum is 100. And if you want to enable the limitation of business service map, drawing by your number of nodes and the each, the default is true, but definitely you can make it uncheck. The setting property to false, it may help you to reduce the performance in the map for larger services, but by default it's true. And the other important thing here is the display node. The display node, by default, the maximum number is 5,000. Got 5,000 display node. On and on and on and on. I'd say this is really important. The system property for service mapping. It's good to know. It's really important because you know those the system property for the service mapping is really save your time when you are trying to do some of the things from the system property, like we say the defaults, what you need to be, cache, all those good stuff. But make sure you save once you're done. Awesome. So now we want to really a little bit talk about by comparing a car rental with ITSM and service watch mapping. Look, when you rent a car, you could have a business driver, that's challenged with the managing of the health application in your changing environment. So as a use case here, we can take a look at the service visibility. And your customer might have a challenge, right? When you give a car rental. So, some of the challenge like managing the health of their application or mapping them with a tribal knowledge. Those could be a problem. So the solution for those all is service mapping. I say this service mapping, it's really crucial and important because it helps you to map your configuration items or you discovered items in CIs. So let's go ahead and see if there is an outage in Asian portal, you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen. You know what will going to impact you all those good stuffs, easily, and then you need to take care of it ahead of time, like how many employee and what is the problem. So this map is really different from the dependency map. This is a service map, Asian employee. All right. So here is the service. This is an application service. It's an application service, like I said. It's called Asian Portal. Asian Portal Application Service. This is created by the guest, and this is a traffic-based discovery. It's discovered by the traffic. What does that mean? So traffic-based discovery is that when you discover, you collect your map. I mean, you created your map. When you are you are discovering. So you can stop later on. And here, this is the top-down chart from the top to all the way down. Then here, we can go ahead and expand it and see the web sphere. There are some web spheres, WPS, WPS. There's Oracle, I believe, right there. Oracle. And iPlanet, the Sun. There's LDAP. So, in respect to Asian, right? In respect to from the top down, like you can say here, I'm just clicking here the top part, that's the URL. The CI type is the HTTP endpoint. That's HTTP endpoint. Now go ahead and click here, web sphere. Now I can get the PID right there. What's updated, the cell, it is a Linux installation directory when it was created, the server root, production. Now it's expanded and it's telling me that it is a Linux. Okay, that's how the installation directory looks like. All right, and also the version, very important, the version. Now, if I move to your Oracle here, and instance is called Oracle, the Oracle home right there, the PID, when it was updated, and which environment is used for. It's for production, and that's the name, Oracle instance type. All those good stuffs are captured. And now I'm going to go ahead all the way down to the Unix server. And this Unix server is created by admin. It is traffic-based again. So this is really important. The top-down chart is really important. All right, you can minimize, maximize, or you can just fit it for the view. Okay. Asian portal. Now let's change it from Asian portal to all windows. All windows. So this is an application service for all windows. Let's go ahead and take a look at window share point service incoming email. Now we're gonna go ahead and enter here so we can take a look at. So when I have the share services, again, this one is a window share point, it's production, and the class is CMDB that's the class. So you can take a look at the detailed properties. We'll open a new page. Awesome. So this top-down map is really crucial and it's really helpful as well. In managing your as a whole, your applications in general. So the map is gonna give you very great look in a sense where you can be able to manage whatever outage is there. There's an outage here, you can go ahead and take care of it. Awesome. Perfect. So that's all we have for today. Today's episode, we have covered the importance of service mapping, application services, how crucial it is, and also we have reviewed the top-down chart here for the service mapping. And also we have covered the application services. We can create different kinds of application services, and the tag-based, the web-based, tag-based, and also we covered some of important related items with the ServiceNow Discovery, and as well as the ITSM in general and the ITOM, the IT Operation Management. So all those good stuffs are covered in this episode. You guys, join us here. Thank you for being here. Hope to see you on the next episode. The next episode, we're gonna take a look at a little deep and deep on the service mapping, the IT operation management area. That's where we get a lot of requests to go deeper on it. So we'll see you there. I'll see you on the next episode. Again, thank you so much for being here. That's what we have covered today. We'll see you on the next episode. Next episode is gonna be the third episode on the service mapping. We'll see you next time.
ServiceNow is many things,
Not only it's flexible,
but also extremely
powerful in every aspect of design.
Learn ServiceNow by joining ServiceNow Star.
ServiceNow Star is a single place where you can get ServiceNow questions and answers, so that you can be ready to pass your certification, as well as
ServiceNow demo.
exactly a lot of demos here in ServiceNow Star. You get a demo on ITSM, ITBM, Service Portal, so many things. Join ServiceNow Star today.
And also the Service Portal.
Yes. Bum bum bum. Join ServiceNow Star today to get a lot of things related to Service Portal, widget development. You'll get a lot of those things, cool features, and also tips and tricks how you can easily develop your own Service Portal using so many experience gathered from one of the ServiceNow developer, Mohammed Rashid Kamal, has worked for many C-suite company. So he's now sharing his experience. He is with the ServiceNow Star.
Yeah. Become a ServiceNow Star.
There are a lot of releases coming from the ServiceNow. We are in Orlando. Paris is coming up. Quebec
and Rome are going to be in the 2021.
If you want to be on top of your race, which is coming from the ServiceNow, you can join today ServiceNow Star. Join ServiceNow Star today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share our videos, and we thank you for that, ServiceNow Star.